Hi guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be, well, not nighttime quite yet, but in today's video I will be discussing what I thought of the latest season of the hit Amazon Prime show. I just got done binge watching season 2, Lore. That's right. The new season of Lore dropped yesterday on Amazon Prime. All 6 episodes of the brand new season 2, and it was good. It was very, very good. Now, there's a lot to talk about, but before I get into all of that, of course, please be warned, as usual, with most of my review videos, whether it's TV reviews or movie reviews, this is going to be full of spoilers. Even though the episodes don't necessarily follow each other, it's all separate stories. Excuse me. I am definitely going to be making references and referring to plot details, storylines from each and every episode, most likely. So if you've not seen Lore Season 2 yet and you intend on watching it, do not keep watching or listening to this video, as I will be going into spoilers and story details. If you have seen it and binged watch it as I have, please keep watching and listening. That being said, what a great season. What a great season. Grave robbery, serial killers, devil worship, and summoning evil, and cursed clock tower. Oh my, and stalking. It was, this season had a little bit of everything, and it was so, the show, season 1 was so gripping because it had a little bit of everything. It had vampires, werewolves, ghosts, haunted houses, demonic possession, people believing that their loved ones are possessed or cursed by a supernatural entity. And this season, the first couple episodes were primarily about, I feel like, 19th century or pre-19th century serial killers, and then we dealt with a haunted clock tower, which was awesome, a cursed clock tower, and then we also had the last episode. It was okay, not my favorite, but the last episode, still had some cool qualities or elements to it, like being part of a sex cult magical society, and then summoning the devil in order to help you to figure out how to set off rockets into outer space. Okay, but no, to start off with, I really enjoyed season 2. I was so incredibly happy earlier this year. I think it was back in February when they officially announced that the show had been renewed for season 2, and I was so happy to hear that because I enjoyed season 1 so much. And a few months ago, they dropped the very first trailer for season 2 at San Diego Comic-Con, and then they had it also at New York Comic-Con. And the trailer was very promising, very exciting stuff, showed a lot of potentially awesome, creepy, supernatural shit, and I feel like we got exactly that here in season 2. And there's just so much to enjoy. This season did a great job, I think, reminding us that we don't need monsters or creatures of the night or imaginary terrors to scare us and then to be capable of carrying out acts of evil and cruelty. Human beings are far more capable of being cruel and being evil. And I feel like that at least the first 3 or 4 episodes of season 2 demonstrated that really well. I mean, the first episode of the 2 Irish immigrant friends who decide to take up grave robbing in order to make some money, but then instead they realize it's more lucrative to provide freshly dead corpses, so they go on a killing spree. And then the super creepy puppet show where the one guy is struggling with his guilty conscience, and he imagines the puppet show mocking him. That was so good, so creepy. And all of these stories are true. I mean, for the most part, I like to think these stories are true because Aaron Mahnke, the narrator from season 1 and the host of the hit podcast series in the same name, which I listen to and I love, there are so many great stories that they could do for a 3rd season if, hopefully they do a 3rd season next year. There's no word yet or official confirmation if they're going to get a 3rd season or not, but we can certainly hope so and cross our fingers. But anyway, this season I feel like did such a good job reminding us that, we create monsters and terrors in the night all through our own imagination, and yet we really don't need to work that hard to imagine unthinkable, unspeakable evil and acts of cruelty, because as this season showed us, human beings are terrifying. Human beings are monsters. I mean, technically, yeah, you're a human being. That's what you're classified as a species, or as an animal, you're a human being. But your actions, your behavior, your mentality doesn't necessarily make you a human being if you do these kind of horrible things to people. I mean, we saw the Duchess or the Countess, whatever she was, literally bathing in blood, in a poor young woman's blood. Kind of gives a whole new meaning to the term bloodbath, don't it? And then we also saw my favorite episode, I think, of this season, and I'm familiar with this. I was already familiar with this case, and I feel like they did a pretty spot-on job with the historical accuracy of it, and then the fiction part of it was the murder on the German farm. How do you? I wrote it down to pronounce that word. And I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, Hinterkaifeck farm, where the German family with like the dark secrets of like incest and interbreeding were brutally murdered by an unidentified murderer with a pickaxe. Now, I thought in the original story, in like the historical account, none of their heads were recovered. Like, the killer cut off all of their heads. Like, all 6 people were headless. The whole family and the housekeeper buried headless. But they didn't necessarily do that in this episode. I mean, we saw their corpses were still intact, their bodies intact, and their heads still attached. Even though a couple of them had the pickaxe go right through their eye sockets or right through their forehead, the heads were still attached. So I don't know why they changed that part of it, but, once I brushed that off, I just really ate up that episode. I'm like, yes, this is gripping. This is good. This is creepy. It's so creepy. And even though I was a little surprised that Aaron Mahnke did not repeat his role as the narrator, you know what, I was still able to enjoy these episodes because every single one of them was a standalone story with no connection to the others whatsoever. And, in the keeping with, like, I believe the spirit or the theme of Halloween television, it covered a wide range of topics: serial killers, grave robbery, cursed inanimate objects, a haunted clock tower, somebody stalking and murdering an entire family, and then an unsolved mystery, and then summoning the devil or summoning demons, and practicing and the black magic and dark arts and whatnot. I mean, it had a little bit of everything to make an awesome Halloween show, and I feel like it did. And I loved the opening credits. The opening credits were like reminiscent of the opening credits of the classic Halloween movie Trick or Treat. And the theme music was also extremely reminiscent. Did anybody else catch that? I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but even if it was or wasn't, I still loved the opening credits. And then, how could I forget? You have to have a Salem witch story in a Halloween show, and of course we had one, and it was the incredible true story of Mary Webster, a woman who actually survived her execution when they tried hanging her for accusing her of being a witch. And, this season, I feel like, really did a good job balancing out horror with real-life tragedy. Like, the real-life tragedy being people who fell victims to these real-life human murderers in all the stories we watched. And then, like, Mary Webster, this poor innocent woman who just wanted a fresh start with her life, almost dying because past sins, or not even sins, but her past caught up with her, and because of the fear and paranoia of other people. But gosh, all of these episodes were so good, and I really, really hope they do a 3rd season, because there are so many great horror stories that Aaron Mahnke has narrated that would make for excellent TV adaptations. So, season 2 of Lore, loved it. Really, really loved it. As much as I loved season 1, and I hope you guys did too. So what did you guys think of season 2? Like it, love it, hate it, expecting more, expecting less? Please feel free to leave your thoughts, opinions, and your feedback down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from everybody. You guys have been doing a phenomenal job lately with leaving your feedbacks and commentary, and I love talking to you guys. Please, please continue to do that. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to stay tuned for further updates on shows like Lore regarding a season 3 renewal or cancellation. And of course, as always, may the force be with you.